who I am now, I'm big on when my body of work is said and done that I made an impact. I live my life on purpose and created change for the better.
Chip on my shoulder. I got something to prove, like a gun in a holster. Loaded, ready to shoot. Got big energy. Ain't scared to dream. Got big energy. Got big energy.
You know this a different energy, right?
So this last couple of questions I'm gonna ask you is called a firing squad. I'm gonna ask you a series of questions and you just answer the best you can, all right?
Got it.
So psychology states there's only two emotions, being loved and feared. Which one do you rather be?
Loved.
What do you fear?
At this stage in my life, not fulfilling all I'm supposed to do in my lifetime.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
LeBron James. You asked me, you know what the answer was going to be?
All right, Joe Montana or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady. You know the answer.
So it's 50 years of hip hop. You a bishop, real estate agent,
Got it.
but we know you hip hop Negro.
All day. I grew up on it.
Top 5 albums, hip hop albums.
Truth. So I don't know what's out there now, so you can't judge me.
I told a friend of mine,
know-
I'm
I don't
straight
know.
90s to 2018. I
I don't know none of it, right? So his brother was my DJ. So man, I can go back because like I said, I'm a 70s baby. So if I had to pick rap music, of course, my greatest was always Biggie. Biggie, right? Biggie.
Ready to Die was cool. Life After Death.
Ready to, that was, he was hungry then. It goes back to what I said earlier. Right? So you got to go back to Biggie Smalls. People sleep on these people, man, but I grew up on these guys back in the day. You got to go with EPMD.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they sleep on them, yeah.
Strictly Business. See, he know what it is, right? So you got Strictly Business. People, rappers, you're gonna go with Pop because of his influence for the culture, right? So I can't remember the name of the album, but of course it was one of the ones before he died. It Hit 'Em Up.
Nah, Hit 'Em Up was on, I think, All Eyes on Me, but his last album was Machiavelli before he died.
Yeah.
Yeah, Machiavelli, yeah.
People sleep on this one. Still, to me, I haven't listened to it in forever, but I can remember the songs. Nas, Illmatic.
Oh, yeah.
People sleep on Nas, man. Like, his wordplay was crazy, right?
Yeah.
So, if I gotta pick 5, that's 4. Who would be... And then, because I grew up where hip-hop was birthed in New York, most of our folk, we gonna pick from there. But when I was listening to it back then, you could disagree. I got to go with the Chronic.
Oh, now which one? Because both of them was bomb. The first one and the second one.
The first one when you had Deep Cover, you had Gin and Juice, you had, those were classics.
I think the second one was better.
Which one?
The second one, Chronic 2000.
What was the songs on it?
Explosion. Guess who? Remember the one with him and Snoop Dogg? Guess Who's Back?
Yeah.
That one right there. Yeah. All that was hot, man.
Yeah. Now that was probably the top
Still
5.
Dre. That's the name of the song. Still Dre.
Still Dre.
Yeah.
But then you got people like, you're talking about music, man. You could go on because I could go back to, of course, LL.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Kane.
Now you say EPMD. I know them. I know who they are, but I ain't that young.
How old are you, Fred?
I'm 40.
I'm 47. I'm right behind.
Yeah, so you're right behind me. So he know who they
I
are.
think about Death Squad too. Eric
Oh
Sermon,
yeah.
Redman,
K
Pete Murray.
Solo.
Yeah.
You had all those guys back then. That was the crossover, DOS Effects. You had all these guys coming up back in the
But
day.
see, y'all talking about the golden age of hip hop.
Yeah.
But that's why I say I'm 90s in 2018. After that, I don't know what's going on.
I done fussed with you about that. Our generation of hip hop, the way we came up listening to hip hop, up until like say what the.
You can listen to with your kids, some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't, these kids, this one now.
It was all party music.
Yeah, but you know, you went from how can I say it? You went from party hip hop to
The gangster.
No, hold on. You went from party to then you went to cause I was just watching like Public Enemy and all of them last night.
Yeah, the Revolution.
Yeah, the Revolution.
Oh, yeah,
and then we went straight gangsta after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's just dumb.
Yeah, you
I
got
don't even know what's going
and-
on.
Yeah.
No disrespect to KRS-One. All those guys we grew up on. KRS-One, man, I could go back and name so many of them. People I used to love that his brother used to play all the time was Grand Pooba, Brand Nubian.
Oh, yeah.
Brand
yeah.
Nubian,
Right.
RBG.
Jamal, my guy, man.
360. You know, Pooba went solo. You had people, you know, you said Keith Murray, classics. My mind can go back to people sleeping on it. MC Light.
I thought she was better than Tifa, man.
Oh God.
Yeah, I thought
Light
she was
was
better than Queen Latifah, man.
Light had it all.
Yeah.
Then when you deal with that, you're talking about New York back in the day. Right after that, Wu-Tang hit. So, man, hip hop, when they celebrated 50 years this
50
year.
years, man. We had Speak Nice on here last, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? His cousin is one of my best friends, Eric Robinson,
Yeah.
out of Atlanta. That's his cousin. So we used to party together when they were at the Oasis back in the day, over there across the bridge on Ginyard. Oh, come on, man. You know, that's where, listen, I'm from the area. You talking about, yeah, Oasis, and they came down and did a concert there. We were all in VIP. I met Spig for the first time during that time. They were also kin to the Fat Boys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. One that just recently died, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that was Eric's cousin also. They're all from South Carolina. And so, you know, we grew up on these guys, right, as kids. So,
50 Cent, grandma and granddaddy from Camden.
see, that's what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
And so when you go back and you look at all the stuff that happened with hip hop, we back then, think about it, when it came out, I was 2 years old. So the 80s and 90s was, to me, probably the golden years, like he was saying. Nothing against it now. I just don't know who out there right now
Ain't
other than what I
going, bro.
see
It's-
on the internet when I'm scrolling, or I got two boys, so they keep me up on what's out there or whatever. But
Let me tell you something funny. The other day, we was in the car, and I was playing for my little girl. I said, man, listen, his daddy used to listen to this in high school. I put Fabulous, Holla Back. She was like, I said, yeah, you like that, right? I said, that's real music right there.
yeah, but you had the hooks.
That's real hip hop, yep.
We had the hooks. They had lyrical content, right? And so we grew up on it, and it's changed. I don't really know who's out there now, other than what my kids tell me about. But back when we came up, man, I knew everybody. So you're talking about, we could walk down to the corner store, Music Corner in Manning, and get a CD, a little single for $3. Or you could buy the whole album before CDs came out. So we grew up on it. And what, LL, you can go back to old school, that was hardcore when he came out. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna tell you who folks sleep on still. And he won't get his props. Rakim.
Oh,
Everybody
man,
Rakim.
Rakim, man. Oh, raw.
Back in
I'ma
the
say
day.
this. Eminem.
Well, he was a phenomenon because we ain't never seen that. We had third base.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That wasn't.
we had, you know, MC Search, those guys, but we ain't never seen nobody like Eminem. With the wordplay to come from a different ethnic background and be sustained and then outsold,
Yeah, a lot of the big top artists.
and that's still a fight now, but
I think he outsold Elvis.
you can't deny his body of work. And you had Drake behind the scenes. How you gonna beat him? How you gonna deny it? So, you know, I'm not negating anybody else, but back when I remember, the names I gave you was folk that I was like I could go back to Jay-Z, Hard Knock Life.
But you got to remember too, around our time, like all us growing up, it was more relatable. It wasn't all that fake stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing. It was almost like if you look at different categories of rap. Think about it as a book. You could turn the page
and know where you was at in that life
There
when the
you
song,
go.
where you been at, what
yeah.
you been doing
Yeah,
during
yeah.
that time when the
See,
song
now-
came
oh,
out.
yeah.
Yep.
Now everybody, it's almost like they stuck on one thing. If the girls ain't talking about selling booty, the dudes ain't talking
That's
about buying
crazy.
booty, ain't
But that's
talking
because
about
content.
jewelry. You know
It's
what I'm
content.
saying? Yeah. So everybody can't. It's almost like they trying to put you in this little thing like everybody got money. Everybody don't got no money. You know what I'm saying? So like you said,
I just find out, I saw a documentary, and we get to the next one, on Cash Money. Remember when they first came out, the Hot Boy, they used to wear the bling? That stuff was fake.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just found that out, man. I didn't.
Yeah.
It was fake. The whole jewelry, everything was fake, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
baby
it's
said we had to
a
fake it
perception
till
of
we
wealth.
make it. Yeah.
you know, but at the end of the day, with most people,
It was renting the cars.
Yeah, they was renting
But
cars.
a lot
too,
of that's what we got to teach our kids to let them know the difference. That's music and entertainment. Real life. That's why I had like our generation of music.
Yeah.
Because you went from, like I said, you could turn
Yeah.
that page. They might have something on it that day. You just want to party. If you going through some stuff, man, I'm listening to Nas, Wu-Tang, or whoever, because you already in that.
Brenda got a baby.
Right. Yeah.
Dear
I
mama.
can tell you all the eras. Tupac, I was in elementary to middle school. Hot Boys came out high school. 50 in college. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, you know
Yeah. But it was always an era.
And the content was good.
Yeah,
'Cause you could. It's always like if you can't really relate to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because some people might not have gravitated to 50.
Yeah.
The way I gravitated to 50
Yeah.
and Tupac because I was in that.
Yeah.
zone.
Yeah.
You might have gravitated like let's go old school. Somebody who was doing something else. They had leaders of the new school
Yeah.
and such and
Oh,
such.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was always a page you could turn.
Oh, my dad,
and
man, when we
listen
was a
to.
kid, man, we used to listen to Snoop Dogg. My dad played Snoop Dogg every time we got in the car, man.
I ain't even gonna lie, man. I used to love Five Dog with Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, I like,
With
yeah.
Q-Tip and all of them.
Yeah.
So I was a music head, so I listened to
Yeah.
everybody. I absorbed,
And-
you know.
And then you had what was it called back then? You had AZ. You had you had AZ,
Sugar Hill.
Foxy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, back in the day, we grew up on that music, right? So for us, those guys was like putting out music to have a good time.
Now it's just, it's trash.
And so I would sit back word for word and learn every word because it was like you could just sit back and play it and you could go through the whole album and just learn every single song. I think Illmatic, we might have popped that tape and then what was the song, man, that came out back in the day? I want to say it was who was it, man? Money, Power, Respect.
Oh, Locks. The Locks. The Locks, yeah. The Locks. Yeah, the Locks and Lil' Kim, yep.
And DMX.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, DMX. I used to fast forward and get the DMX part. That part was so hard.
Those
man.
were albums like we grew up on, right? People don't realize that these guys that's out now, like when I was telling my son, when they were doing the contest between the Locks and Dipset online, and I was telling them, I said, son, I said, these guys were out when I was kids, because he didn't know who Jadakiss was.
Yeah. He knew that night.
Yeah.
He showed out. He knew that night.
But
yeah,
that's somebody from our era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, I said, son, I said, these guys were out when I was a kid. And he was like, wow. He thought he just came out of nowhere. I'm like, no, this old school.
This dude old, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's wild. You know, my son back
it was
in
an
the day,
era.
He's so used, my son, I mean, he's 25 now, but when he was younger, he was so used to seeing Ice Cube on movies, he didn't know Ice Cube was a rapper.
Still mobbing.
Yeah.
Steady mobbing.
He didn't know Ice Cube was a rapper, man. Yeah.
But you got to think about it. Think about that was our era. When you had NWA. When they couldn't go nowhere. Couldn't do nothing. So we grew up on, man, all that stuff. And they were the first ones that came out with Bump the Police. Luke came out with all of the explicit stuff, and he was being
Parental
banned.
advisory. They don't
2
know
Live
that.
Crew.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? So Too Short, all those guys was coming out during that time. That's when Florida was trying to get on, but New York had it on lock for a long time. So we've seen it hit everywhere before, you know, ATL hit. And they done had it ever since. You know? But we were a part of that New York, you know, trend. It's been everywhere.
Next question. What's the best piece of advice you ever got?
God, I didn't have so much good advice, but what I'll say is be true to myself.
What's the worst?
What you don't know won't hurt you.
Okay. When it's all said and done and your time is up, how do you want the world to remember Anthony Munchie Gibson?
This episode is sponsored by Goings Law Firm. If you or your family member needs a real deal lawyer who knows how to fight hard in court, call Robert Goings and his team at the Goings Law Firm. They handle car wrecks, trucking accidents, workers' comp, and serious injury or death cases. If you want the best, you got to hire the best. Robert Goins and his law firm team know how to win and get you the money you deserve. Goins Law Firm is located at 1510 Calhoun Street, Columbia, South Carolina. Again, 1510 Calhoun Street, Columbia, South Carolina. Train So Hard University, where it's just not a movement, it's a lifestyle. You can contact myself, Excalibur Miller, on Facebook, or my Instagram, The Miller Experience, or you contact my brother, T. Miller, on Facebook, or on Instagram, Prodigal Son 36. If you're interested in being a sponsor for Shop Talk or the Miller Experience, you can contact myself, Ernest Miller, at 803-565-9752. Or you can hit me up on my email at eaenestmiller83@gmail.com. You can also make contact with my producer, Victor Wesley of Vic West Production. His telephone number is 803-225-0021. Also, his email address is vicwestp@gmail.com.
Being totally honest, man, like who I am now, I'm big on when my body of work is said and done that I made an impact. I live my life on purpose and created change for the better. I want to leave an impact. I don't think none of us should live our lives, man, where we don't leave our mark. I think everybody, when it's all said and done, not for bad stuff, right? When it's said and done and they said, man, what did he do? You know, oh, he was a terrorist. You know, no, man, I got kids that got to live here after I'm gone. What are they going to say about their dad, right? And the goal is to have impact, to influence people's lives for the better. And I did what I was supposed to do in my lifetime. We don't know how much time we got. Nobody knows that. But when you leave, you want to live your life where you didn't waste time. When you're young, you waste it. 20, 30s, I'm close to 50, right? Wife, kids, you know, my wife been with me for a long time and we're trying to build something. And I got 2 brown boys coming up in the world. When they look at me, I want them to be proud more than anything of their dad. Because I love my dad, and down the stretch of his life, we got closer than we've ever been. And I wish I had more time where we were in that place, right? When I look at my boys, I want them every day. I'm striving to make sure they're proud of me. That means something to me. You know, that means something to me, man. I don't want them to look at me and they're ashamed of what I became. I want them to look at me and say, you know what? When he was here, he left it all on the floor. He gave it all, and we benefited from his body of work. That's it.
Well, Munchie, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Man, it's a blessing,
I had
bro.
fun, man.
Yeah, man,
I
it was
had
fun. It was fun.
Thank y'all for having me, man.
Anything you want to promote out there before our people get in contact with you?
No, man, listen. We're in a season right now where a lot of things are happening. This is what I will say to everybody watching. and this is so serious. Right now, a lot of things are happening in the world. A lot of things are happening in the political arena. A lot of things are happening in our society. We're seeing crazy stuff all around us. Inflation is high. Everything is increasing but people's paychecks. People are stressed. We just came through 3.5 years of COVID. We've seen millions of people leave this world that we knew, right? So many folk died. People are hurting. They're grieving. Don't know which way to turn. The ultimate thing, first of all, is your faith. That's important. That's pivotal. From that place, what I will say is in the politics and all the stuff that's happening right now, we got to make sure, man, that we're not just sitting back as bystanders complaining, but we got to do our part. And we got to get out there, do your homework, research, and vote. You got to vote, man. You don't get a chance to complain about something if you're not doing anything. You got to get out there, do your homework, and vote, and make your voice heard, man. Everybody's voice counts, and everybody matters. And sometimes with us, because of ignorance or just following everybody else, we tend to ignore things that's very, very pivotal. But we have power. The world want to make you feel like you don't have any, have a voice, or you don't have power, but you have power. So you got to make sure you use your power and your influence to vote for what you believe in. And when you do that, then you can say, I did my part, and live with the results. So just make sure that we're doing our part. And look, y'all, let's make sure we take care of each other. Not to be long-winded or nothing like that, but he said it earlier, we need work. We got to make sure that our people are educating themselves in every arena, taking care of each other and loving on each other. We got to stop this violence, man. Sunday, 3 kids were killed in Colombia sitting on a porch. That's 3 families grieving. These kids ain't coming back. Nobody don't want to bury their child. And we've become so numb to murder and violence that it's almost sad. And when myself, as a pastor, man, the hardest funerals that I have to do is when I'm burying somebody's child that's underage and ain't lived their life. I've buried a couple of them this year. And you go home, man, depressed. Your heart is broken because some of these young folk you burying ain't never had a child. These are young men, never had a child, never been married, never had a chance to live, and somebody decided that I'm gonna take you off the planet forever. You ain't even valuable. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And when people are stressed, you got poverty. Poverty is the root cause of a lot of it. We got to make sure, man, that we educate ourselves. So listen, y'all, not only love yourselves, but you got to love everybody around you. We got to take care of each other. Because whether you like it or not, we want somebody to come save us. But eventually you got to stop crying, and we got to save ourselves with the help of God. That's the goal. So listen, that's all I got to say. I appreciate you. Thanks, man.
Hey, make sure you guys subscribe, like, share my YouTube channel, The Mill Experience, and also we on Spotify, The Mill Experience. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Thank y'all for having us, man.
Remember me, right? You know this a different
Make sure you check out the next episode. And also, you make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on my YouTube channel, The Mill Experience. And now we also on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Make sure you download. Peace.
Who told you being intelligent is whack? So place your bets. My faith is fresh. I'ma make it stretch. Cause I sat there eye to eye with the face of death. And you ain't putting work in unless you break a sweat. Bringing back a 4-course meal. Keep the table set. Step in my belief. I'm expressive when I